The mountains hold their breath. A Roman column cuts through an alpine pass, iron flashing like cold sunlight. At the front rides Maurice, an officer from Thebes, a soldier with a steady hand and a quieter fire. An order arrives, simple ink, brutal meaning. Bow to the gods before battle. Some whisper there is a second demand. Hunt Christians among the locals. He reads the lines, feels the weight, and looks at his men. Not a speech, not a revolt, just a choice. He answers with a word Rome never trains for. No, the pass goes still. Armor creaks, breath frosts, and the legend lifts its head. No riot, no chaos. Maurice keeps formation, salutes, and refuses. A refusal is quiet. Rome is not. The answer comes in procedure, the kind that chills campfires. Decimation. Every 10th man. Chosen. Taken. Gone. The survivors stand in ranks, eyes forward, boots rooted in frozen mud. Orders repeat. The second decimation falls like a hammer finding the same anvil. Still no bowing. Still no hunt. The commander from Thebes holds the same line he drew an hour ago. Not against Rome, against himself, against fear, against the small voice that bargains when night grows long. Now the last order arrives, the one camps pretend doesn't exist. Erase them. They say the ground at Agaunum, today's Saint Maurice, drank more than snowmelt. The empire moved on, people did not. Pilgrims climbed, stories gathered. A king raised an abbey on the spot, and monks attempted something daring. Perpetual praise, psalms circling day and night, a heartbeat under the Alps. Imagine that rhythm. Shift changes at midnight, throat and candle passing flame and melody. Centuries stack. The choir never fully sleeps. People arrive with petitions, griefs, and names. A soldier's no keeps echoing as a city's song. The name Saint Maurice travels farther than any marching order, onto banners, chapels, and even a high valley resort that shortens the syllables to Saint Moritz. Memory becomes map. Walk into Magdeburg Cathedral and meet a surprise carved in the 13th century. It is Maurice, helmeted, armored. A black African knight, not a symbol painted flat, but a face with presence. He does not petition, he commands. His gaze is level, not pleading. For medieval Europe, that statue shifts the room. The empire's faith is not pale and local. It stretches from the Nile to the North Sea. Here is a saint with rank. Here is a commander with conscience. Art historians argue dates and pigments. Pilgrims don't need footnotes. The stone says, courage wears this face too. Emperors listen when a story moves soldiers. Relics travel, borders flex. A capital needs a patron. A campaign needs a banner. Over time, Maurice's relics are carried to new centers, and his name settles where power gathers. There is a lance in Vienna whose old metal bands mention him. There are anthems in cathedrals that seal his memory to thrones. Is every link ironclad? No, some layers are tradition. Others are politics wearing incense. But symbols move crowds long after paperwork fades. And rulers know a useful story when they hear one. A soldier who obeyed every lawful command until conscience drew a bright line. You will hear 6,600, sometimes 6,666. Round numbers travel well. Real campaigns do not. Scholars point to gaps, late sources, and logistics. Believers point to shrines that never went cold. Here's the honest middle. The cult is ancient. The math is fog. Theban may mean Egyptian recruits. It may mean a memory sealed to that name. Decimation is Roman practice. Whether it struck twice on that ground is argued in study halls and whispered in chapels. What matters for the heart is smaller and harder. A unit stood, and a leader would not trade his soul for an order. That decision, not the spreadsheet, is why the story breathes. Because it names a pressure, you know. The boss says now, your gut says no. The rulebook is clear, your conscience is clearer. Maurice's answer is sharp and old. Obey until conscience says stop. That stance makes institutions nervous and ordinary people brave. A nurse refuses to falsify. A clerk won't bury a file. A soldier won't press a blade into something sacred. Not tantrum, not theater, just the stillness of someone who knows the line. This is why candles keep burning in Saint Maurice, why choirs still turn pages in the night, why a statue's gaze feels modern. The story is not a museum piece. It's a mirror. Return to the past. The wind tugs at standards. The snow holds the world very still. Maurice does not step forward to grandstand. He simply does not move. And because the commander does not move, the men behind him learn where to stand. History argues. The heart decides. The abbey sings. The empire fades. The statue waits. What remains is a sentence you can carry into any room that threatens your peace. Hold the line, but know which line to hold. If you must bend, bend your pride. If you must break, break with honor. And if you must say no, let it be like his quiet, steady, and heard for 1,000 years.